That's where Fox 10's Brian Webb picks up the story with an update. Brian?
Yeah, we did just get an update from Surprise Police. They still don't know the cause of the fire officially yet, but they do believe the suspect was in the home when the fire began. Give you another look behind me. You can see the top of the roof back there, or what is left of it. Looks like the house is a total loss. It broke out just around 3 o'clock this afternoon and burned for about 20 minutes before the fire department finally hit it with water. Police told us that's because the suspect was still in there and firing at that point, so it wasn't safe for fire crews to get in there right away, but I'm told no other houses were burned. This standoff lasted about 4 hours. We heard flash bangs and bullhorns before the fire. We saw SWAT teams throwing some things in the garage for a while, and then we heard several pops during the fire itself. As you mentioned, the trouble started around 3 a.m. Police say a woman and her baby were held hostage in their own home after the baby's father broke in. Then the mother managed to break out of there around 11:30. She went straight to a construction crew in the area to have them call 911. When officers arrived, they heard gunshots coming from inside the home, and fearing for the baby's safety, they forced their way inside. Police say the baby had several gunshot wounds to the lower body and, as you said, is in surgery now with the mother there at the hospital as well. We are told one officer fired one shot while retrieving the baby, but then they backed out after that and tried to negotiate. And again, they believe the house was on fire when the suspect was inside. So as I mentioned, police just gave us an update moments ago. We also talked to some people who came here to see for themselves what was going on.
Officers heard the volleys of fire when they were approaching. They had already had that confirmation that that child was inside and the mom believed the child was in danger. And so that is when the officers forced entry. Upon forced entry, our understanding is that officers almost immediately located the injured child, took that injured child, got the child to care. We are very, very lucky that we have a trained fire crew. They're called tactical emergency medics that respond to a lot of these types of calls. We got them to trained professionals who were able to render that immediate aid before the child was airlifted.
It's really heartbreaking. I want to cry. So it's definitely really sad.
Police tell us they are waiting until it's safe to go inside what is left of the home to see if they can find the suspect's body. They have no reason to believe he made it out of there alive. They also tell us this is the second domestic violence call from this same house about this same couple. The last one happened about a couple of weeks ago. John, Christina, back to you.
Wow, Brian, I mean, obviously a really sad situation, but everyone's hoping that the baby will survive this. As you mentioned, shot in the lower extremities and in surgery right now, so we're hoping for the best there. But I mean, this is a fairly new neighborhood. It's believed that maybe the woman and the child may have moved into that home fairly recently, right?
Well, we're told about half of the homes here are occupied now. The other half are still being built. Maybe 100 families in this complete area, this entire complex under construction. So yeah, they probably were fairly new residents. Many other residents were evacuated from the area. Others told to stay away because it just wasn't safe. It looks like a lot of the police officers are leaving the immediate scene right now. Not sure if people are being allowed back into their homes, but a lot of them are not here where they were before. A lot of them, or at least one woman admitted she stayed back here where police were. She wanted to be safe and felt safe as long as officers were around.
Yeah, I wonder how soon police can enter the scene there with that home being so unstable now that it's pretty much gutted because of that fire.
You know, they said that they'd give us an update later tonight, but I would imagine fairly soon. I don't even see any really heavy smoke coming from it at this point. So you'd think they'd want to get in there as soon as they can to start putting the pieces together. Again, they believe the suspect was in there at the time the fire started. Yeah. They stopped short of saying that he started the fire. So they're expecting to find a body in there when they do get in.
Brian, quickly, just going back, this is kind of classic domestic violence. That woman and her baby were held for 8.5 hours. This started at 3 in the morning last night, as you pointed out. But police, in Surprise, they've had an issue with this couple before, right? They were on their radar.
Yes, and just 2 weeks ago, we don't know the extent of that, the details of that. Police are very careful about giving out information in the beginning of these investigations, of course, but just 2 weeks ago there were problems, and apparently she was trying to keep her distance from this man. That was her house, not his, and he had to break his way in to get at her and the child. That child is his, we are told. So yeah, I mean, things, and then shooting a child and allegedly shooting a child and starting a fire, beyond what anybody could have imagined.
All right, Brian. Well,
Thank you,
thanks for
Brian.
your reporting out there. Great job, and we'll check in with you a little bit later.